Good day, everyone. Welcome to lecture number 4 of Theory of Computation. And in this particular lecture, we will start the discussion about the mathematical logic. Okay. In the mathematical logic, basically, we have to discuss two important topics. One is the propositional logic, and the second topic that we have to discuss is the first order logic. Okay. So these are the two topics that we have to discuss in the mathematical logic. One is the propositional logic and another is first order logic. And in today's lecture, in lecture number 4, we will discuss about the propositional logic. And in our next lecture, we will discuss about the first order logic. Okay, so this particular lecture is for the propositional logic. But before discussing the propositional logic, you have to understand why we require mathematical logic. The mathematical logic is required to logically prove some statements, or we can say it is a tool, mathematical tool that helps us to reason about some logical statements. Okay, so that is done using the concept of mathematical logic. So as I said that in this particular topic, we have to discuss about the propositional logic. So let's leave the first order logic for the next lecture and let's start the discussion about the propositional logic. What is a propositional logic and what are the different components that we have to discuss in the propositional logic? So what is a propositional logic? Okay, before discussing what is propositional logic, we have to understand what is proposition. What do you understand by a proposition? Okay, we can say that a proposition is any statement that can be true or false. Okay, any statement that can be true or false is called a proposition. And in mathematical logic, false is sometimes written like this. Okay, it is the inverse T. So a proposition is a statement that can be true or false. For example, let's take the example. The example is, let me write this: I love mangoes. So this is a simple example. This is a statement. Okay. So regarding this statement, we can say whether it is true or false. If I like mangoes, then that means this statement is true. However, if I didn't like the mangoes, then this particular statement is false. So we can say that this particular statement, this statement here, it is proposition. Okay. So what I am saying, the statement that can be true or false, that particular statement is called a proposition. Now let me write another example here. For example, what is your name? This is also a statement. Can we say that this statement is proposition? No, this is not proposition. Why? This is not proposition because A proposition is a statement that can be true or false, but this is a question. This is not a true or false statement. So we can say this type of question is not a is not a proposition, because only those statements are called propositions for which there can be a true or false answer. However, if there are statements which are not related to true or false, then those particular statements are not considered as propositions. Okay, let me write another example here. So for example, if I am saying, so let me write a statement here, go out of the class. So this is a statement. And in this particular statement, you can see that I am giving a command. Is this a proposition, this particular statement? No, this is also not a proposition. Why? Because the answer to this question cannot be true or false. So that means this particular question is also not, or sorry, this particular statement is also not a proposition. So we can summarize here two things, that questions, some questions, not all questions, questions and commands are not propositions, because only those statements are propositions that can be or which can be true or false. And questions and commands, we can say that they don't have any true or false value attached to these particular statements. So questions and commands are not propositions. So we have understood the concept of proposition. What is a proposition? So a proposition is a statement that can be true or false. Okay. Now, after understanding the proposition, let's understand proposition logic. So proposition logic, we can say, is a mathematical system that reasons about the propositions, about the propositions. The mathematical statement in which we are reasoning about the propositions and how these proportions are related, how propositions are related. That particular mathematical statement is called propositional logic. So propositional logic is a mathematical statement that helps us to reason about the propositions. What are propositions? The statements which can be true or false, and how propositions are related to each other, or we can say how we combine propositions to each other. This particular mathematical system is called a propositional logic. So in propositional logic, we have propositional variables, propositional variables, and they are mixed, or we can say they are related to each other with the help of propositional connectives. Okay. So in propositional logic, what I am saying that it is a mathematical statement that reasons about the propositions and how propositions are related to each other, or we can say how propositions can be combined with each other to form complex statements. Okay. So in propositional logic, we understand the concept about the propositional variables, or we can say we have to discuss about the propositional variables and how these variables are connected to each other with the help of propositional connectives. So these propositional variables here, so basically propositional variables are the propositional statements. For example, if X is a statement, X is some statement which is saying, I love mangoes. So this is a propositional statement, and this X is a variable that is representing this propositional statement. So we can say this X is a propositional variable. We can say, in other words, a variable, any variable that can take values true or false is called a propositional variable. And as I said, in propositional logic, we are using the propositional variables, or we can say the variables which can take values true or false, and we combine these propositional variables, or we can say we relate these propositional variables with each other with the help of propositional connectives. So what are the different propositional connectives that are used in propositional logic? Some of the connectives are, first is the not connective, or it is also called logical negation. Okay. Another connective is the or connective. Sorry, and connective. This is called logical conjunction. Okay. And the third basic propositional connective that is used in propositional logic is the or. So this is called not connective. This is called and this is the or it is also called logical disjunction, or we can say or. Not and an or. There is another connective that is used, but these are the three basic propositional connectives that are used. Okay. The another connective that is used to combine the propositional variables is XOR. Okay. It is also called a exclusive or. XOR or exclusive or. Some more connectives are, for example, the fifth one is implication. And the symbol for implication is another one that is used is the bidirectional connective. Or it is written like this. Or I can say it is written like this. It is a bidirectional connective. So these are the propositional connectives that are used to relate, or we can say that are used to connect different propositional variables with each other. And among these six connectives, only the first one is the exception, in a sense that it applies on only one variable. All the other connectives, for example, and, or, XOR, implication, bidirection, they are binary connectives, or we can say they apply on two variables. Okay. And also other thing that you have to keep in mind, that when propositional variables are operated using, or we can say are related using propositional connectives, the final value can only be true or false. It cannot be any other value. It can be either true or false. What does that mean? If I have two variables, these are proportional variables, x and y. And if I am relating these two variables using one of the connective, for example, I am relating these two using this particular connective. What is this connective? And connective. Then the output can be either true or false. Likewise, if I am connecting these two variables using some other connective, here implication, then output again can be true or false. It cannot be any other value. Okay, so let's separately discuss each of this connective, and we won't go in great detail, but only briefly I will discuss these connectives and what is the truth table or what is the output when two variables are connected to each other using the AND or exclusive or implication and bidirectional connectives. So let me discuss the propositional connectives and their truth tables. So let's discuss about the propositional connectives. Okay, let's take the first one, and the first one is the logical negation, or it is the symbol is this not. So logical negation, this applies on a single variable, or we can say on a single propositional variable. Okay, let's say I have a variable p, proportional variable p. Now I can apply this operator on this p. So this operator means not p, not. So let's make the truth table of this. But before making the truth table, we have to understand what is a truth table. Truth table is a table in which we give true, all possible true and false values to the propositional variables, and based on these true and false values we see what will be the output of some expression after applying these true and false values, or we can say truth value of propositional logic formula. Okay, so we have propositional logic formula. What is a proportional logic formula? Proportional logic formula means the final, or we can say the statement obtained by relating proportional variables using propositional connectives. For example, if I have two variables x and y, now if I am relating these two using AND gate, so this is a proportional. Okay, this is also a proposition. Why it is a proposition? Because at the end this can have either true value or false value. So this particular statement is called propositional logic formula. And if we have to write the truth table for this propositional logic formula, the truth table will be the value of this formula, this above formula, or we can say the value of propositional logic formula for all possible values of its inputs. So what are the inputs to this particular formula? The inputs to this particular formula are, you can see, X and Y. So if I have to design a truth table for this formula, then truth table will mean what will be the output of this formula by giving different input values, by giving different possible values to its inputs. So what are its inputs? X and Y. So what are the different possible values for X and Y? So the different possible values are, X will be false and Y will be false. X will be false and Y will be true. X will be true and Y will be false. And X will be true and Y will be true. Then based on these possible inputs, we have to determine what will be the output of this logical formula. So this particular table is called a truth table. So what is a truth table? So a truth table is the truth value of propositional logic formula for all possible values of its input variables. Fine. So this is called a truth table. So now let's make a truth table for logical negation, or we can say the not operator, not connective. Let's make a truth table for this. So the truth table of logical negation is that, so we know that logical negation has how many propositional variables? Only one variable. So the truth table for logical negation is that the output will be true if its input is false. True if its input is false, and vice versa. Vice versa means here that if its input is false, then output will be true. So let's take a variable, because we know that in logical negation we can have only one variable. So let's take variable X and let's make a formula that will be not of X. So that means the input can have two values, false and true. So let's see what will be the output. The logical negation is saying that if input is true, output will be false, and if our input is false, output will be true. So here input is false, so what will be output here? So output here will be true, and input is true, then output will be false. So this is the truth table for logical negation. Okay, now let's discuss the second connective. Or you have to understand that logical negation means that, for example, if I have P as a statement, P is, let's say, for example, I like mangoes. Then what will be not P? Not P means I don't like mangoes. So you can see here, for example, if P is true, P is true, P. So that means I like mangoes. What will be this not P? Not P will be false. This statement will be false. What is this statement saying? This statement is saying that I don't like mangoes, but here I am saying that this particular statement is true. That means I like mangoes, so this particular statement is false. Okay, so this is how logical negation is used in the statements. Okay, now let's discuss the second connective. So the second propositional connective is logical conjunction, or it is also represented like this. Okay. It is a binary connective. Binary means that it will have two propositional variables as inputs. So let's take two variables as inputs, x and y. And this logical connection can combine these two inputs, these two propositions. And this particular formula is true only when both are true. Both its inputs are true. Otherwise, it is false. Okay. So let me write it. Otherwise, it is false. Okay. So let's make a truth table for this particular statement, or we can say particular connective. So if I have two variables x, y, and they are related using the AND conjunction, then x can have value false, false. So false, true, true, false, and true, true. Okay. Let's see what can be an output. False, false. Here I am saying that it is true only when both its inputs are true. So when are it is both inputs true here? So it will be true here. In all other cases, it will be false. So this is logical conjunction. Okay. And in terms of propositional statements, let's say X is I love mangoes, and Y is I love swimming. Then what will be X and Y? X and Y will be I love mangoes and I love swimming. Okay. So when will this particular statement be true? So this particular statement will be true when both these statements, this statement and this statement is true. That means when this X is true, Y is true, then this particular statement, I love mangoes and I love swimming, will be true. Okay, so this is about the logical conjunction. Now let's discuss about the third propositional conjunction. So the third propositional connective is or it is written like this. So it is also a binary connective. So let's take two propositional variables, x and another propositional is y, and let's connect these two with this disjunction, or it is called or. So this particular formula will be true if at least one of its input is true. Otherwise, it is false. Otherwise means that if both the inputs are false, then it is false. However, if at least one of these inputs is true, the output of this will be true. So let's make the truth table here. So I'm making a truth table here. So we have X, we have Y, and we have this propositional logic formula, X or Y. So it can be false and false, false and true, true and false, true and true. So false, false will be, so as I said that if both are false, then it will be false. However, if at least one is true, so here Y is true, so it will be true. Here X is true, so it will be true. Here both are true, so it will be true. So this is the logical formula. And in terms of, for example, English like statements, if X is again, I love mangoes, so the same example, and Y is I like swimming, then X or Y will be I love mangoes, or I like swimming. So this is how it is written in terms of English like statements. Now let's discuss the fourth propositional conjunction. So the fourth one is exclusive or. So the exclusive or it is written like this. It is also a binary conjunction that it operates on two proportional variables. So let's say X. So this particular statement is true when only one of the variable is true. Okay. Otherwise it is false. Okay. Let me make the truth table for this particular formula. This is X, this is Y, and this is X exclusive or Y. Now let's write the truth values here, possible inputs. Now let's write the output. So when will this particular statement be true? So this statement will true when only one of the variables is true. So here one variable is true, so it will be true. Here also one variable is true, so it will be true. And in the other cases where both are false or both are true, it will be false. Okay. So this is the truth table for exclusive or. Now let's take the implication. Okay, so we have to discuss about the fifth one. The fifth one is implication. So let's write about that. So the implication, which is denoted by this arrow. Okay, so it also has two propositions, X, Y, and they are connected by this. It basically, this means in English terms, it is written like this: if X, then Y. Okay, if X, then Y. What does this statement specify? It is saying that if X is true, then Y should be true, then only this formula is true. So what does that mean? It is saying that if this is true, then this should also be true, then only this particular formula will be true. Okay, now if this is false, X is false, are we saying anything if X is false? No. So that means if X is false, Y can be anything, and Y can be false or true. It won't change the validity of this particular statement. That means this particular statement will be true. So if X is true, Y should be true, then only X implies Y is true. Okay. However, if X is false, then we don't care. We don't care means that whether y is false or true. Whatever y is, this particular statement will always be true. However, if x is true and y is false, but we are saying that if x is true, y should be true, then only this statement is true. Here I am saying if x is true and y is false, then that means this particular statement is not valid, or we can say this particular statement is false. So let me make a truth table for this. So you have to understand this statement clearly. What is the meaning of implication? So x implies y. It is also written like this, x implies y. So it is, so the values for this will be false, 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 true, true, false, and true, true. Let's see what will be the output. So let's take the first case, this one. So in the first case, x is false. So here I said, when x is false, I don't care about the y. Whatever y is, x implies y will be true. So it will be true in both the cases. Now, if x is true in the third case, if x is true, then y should be true. Then only this is true. However, you can see that here x is true, but y is false. So this statement will be false. Here x is true and y is true. So this statement will be true. Okay. So this is how it is. This implication is written, or this is the truth table for the implication. Okay, fine. And in, as I said, that in English words, this implication is written like this: if x, then y. Or I can say it is written, also written like this: y if x. So if anywhere in your logic there is written if x then y, then in terms of logical formula you can write it x implies y. And if it is written y if x, it also means x implies y. So you have to understand this. So now, for example, let me write two statements: x, it rains, y, I will use umbrella. So x implies y here means that if I am writing x implies y, it means if it rains, okay, then I will use umbrella. Okay, or in other words, I can write, so here y if x, y means I will use umbrella if it rains. So these two statements are same. This particular statement and this particular statement, they are same. They both mean x implies y. Okay, so this is about the implication. Now let's discuss the last one, that is the bidirectional. So biconditional connective, it is written like this. So sorry about that. So it is written like this, a double arrow, or we can say like this. It is also a binary connective. That means it connects two proportional variables. And in English words, it is written or it is spoken as X if and only if Y. Or I can say that it is written like this. X if Y. Okay, if and only if Y. Or we can say that this particular statement means X implies Y and Y implies X. Okay, if we have this, what is this? X implies Y and Y implies this. I can write it like this. For example, X implies Y and Y implies X. That means this and this is same. If this particular statement is true, X implies Y and Y implies true, then this particular statement will be true. And if this particular statement is false, this particular statement is false. Okay. Now let's come back here. So X, if and only if Y means that this particular statement is true when X and Y are same. Otherwise, it is false. So when both X and Y are same, then only this particular statement is true. Otherwise, this particular formula is false. So let me make a truth table here. So this is my truth table, X and Y. And X if and only if Y. What does that mean? Let me write the truth values here. Okay, so what I am saying that X implies Y will be true when X and Y are same. So in the first case, is X and Y same? Yes, so it will be true. In the second, is X and Y same? No, it will be false. In the third, is X and Y same? No, it will be false. And in the fourth case, is X and Y same? Yes, it will be true. Okay, so this is the truth table of X implies Y. Fine. And in terms of English words, it is written like that. For example, if X is I like movies and Y is I am a student. Okay. So if I am writing X implies Y, what does that mean? X implies Y. It means I like movies if and only if I am a student. So that means this particular statement is true. This particular statement is true. When will it be true? It will be true if either both are false, both will be false. When will these both false? These both will be false when I don't like movies and I am not a student. Or both are true. Both are true means I like movies and I am a student. Okay, then only this particular statement will be true. So this is about the by condition. Fine. So these are the 6 connectives that will be used in the mathematical logic propositional logic, and also in the first order logic that we will be discussing in our next lecture. And these are the basic propositional connectives that are used to connect the propositional variables with each other or relate propositional variables with each other. Okay. Now, before wrapping up the discussion about the connectives, we have to discuss the propositional equivalence. Okay, so we have to understand what is propositional equivalence. So what we have to understand is what is propositional equivalence. For example, if I have two items, any two items, item 1 and item 2. So I can write item 1 is equal to item 2 if both are same. Item 1 and item 2 are same. Okay. Can I write this for the propositions like x is equal to y? So I cannot write this equal to for propositions. Why I cannot write it for the propositions? I am saying I can write this equal to for objects, or we can say for some items, but I cannot write equal to for propositions. It is because a single proposition can take multiple values. Multiple values means that one time it can be true, other time it can be false. Likewise, this proposition also takes multiple values, true or false. When we have an item can take only one value at one time. But this proposition can take multiple values. It can be true at one point of time and false at another point of time. So how we say that two propositions are equivalent? Two propositional variables, let's say I have two propositional variables, x and y. I say that these two proposition variables are equivalent, or these two propositional formulas are equivalent if they have same truth values. That means if x is true, then y is also true. Or if x is false, then y is also false. Then only I can say that x and y are equivalent to each other. And if these are equivalent to each other, then it is written like this. X is equivalent to y. Okay, so if I have two propositional formulas, propositional formula 1 and propositional formula 2, how will I say that propositional formula 1 is equivalent to propositional formula 2? What I am going to do, that I will make a truth table. Okay, and I will find the truth values for propositional variable 1, propositional formula 1 and propositional formula 2. I will find all possible truth values. Okay, all possible truth values for propositional formula 1 and propositional formula 2. Then I will check if all are same. So this is same, this one is also same, this one is also same, and this one is also same. What does that mean? It means that the truth values for propositional formula 1 and propositional formula 2 are same in all the cases. Okay, that means if this is false and this is also false, let's suppose this is true, this is also true, this is false, this is also false, this is false, and this is also false, then only I will say that propositional formula 1 is equivalent to propositional formula 2. Okay, so when we are saying that two propositional formulas are equivalent, the two propositional formulas are equivalent if their truth values are same. Or I can say, for example, if I find out here propositional formula 1, if and only if proportional formula 2. What will be the output in this case? It will be true, 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 and true. Okay, so that means if two proportional formulas are same, are equivalent. Equivalent means that their truth values are same in all the cases. Then their biconditional operator, if we connect these two proportional formulas using a biconditional, what will be the output? The output will be true in all the cases. Okay, that means the output will be a tautology. Tautology means that for all the cases, the output is true. Okay, then only we will say that these two proportional formulas are equivalent to each other. Okay, so let me. So here I am saying that two proportional, for example, if I have two proportional formulas, P and Q. Okay, these are two proportional formulas. So we will say that these two are equal if P implies Q is true in all the cases. Okay, so that means whenever we have to prove that P is equivalent to Q, that means proportional formula P is equivalent to proportional formula Q, then we have to prove that P biconditional or implies Q is true. So if we are able to prove this is true, that means this will imply that P is equivalent to Q. Let me give some examples. For example, if I have two variables x and y, these are my two variables. Let's make a simple truth table here. So this is x, this is y. Let's give the truth values. For it is false, true, true, false, true. Now let's write x naught, y naught. What will be x naught and y naught? So x naught will be true, true, false, false, and y naught will be true, false, true, false. Okay, now let's write some more formulas here. What is x and y? Okay, x or y not of x and y. Let me rub these things here so to make some space. Not x or not y, not x and not y. So let's write here. So let's say this is P1, this is Q1, this is P2, this is Q2, this is P3. Let's say, for example, now x and y. What will be x and y? So let me choose a different color here. X and y, it will be false, 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 and true. X or y will be false, true, true, and true. Okay, now let's come here. Not of x and y, so not of this one, not of P1. Okay, so it will be true, 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 and false. Not of X or not of Y. So not this and this, or of these two. So or of these two will be true, 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 false. Okay, and not of X and not of Y. So this not of X and not of Y, it will be true, false, false, and false. So other one that I missed is the last one, that is, let's take P3, or we can say let's take Q3. Let's do it not of Q or Y. So not of Q or Y, here bracket I am writing that first I have to perform Q or Y, then apply the not. So what is Q or Y? This. So Q or Y is false, true, true, true. So it is not will be true, false, false, false. Now let's see here in this truth table. You can see that P3 and Q3, P3 and Q3, they have same truth values. Okay, so that means P3 is equivalent to Q3. Or we can say that if I do P3 implies Q3, it will be true, always true. So let's do here P3 implies Q3, what it will be. So you can see true and true is true, false and false is true, false and false is true, false and false is true. Okay. So likewise, you can see here that in these two cases, P2 and Q2, they are also same. They have same truth values. You can see. So that means P2 and Q3, P2 and Q2, they are also equivalent. So what does that mean? For example, let's take this one, P2 and Q2. What is P2? Not of X and Y. So that means not of X and Y is equivalent to not of X or not of Y. Okay. And the second thing is this one. P3 is equivalent to Q3. What does that mean? What is P3? P3 is not of X and not of Y. So let's write Q3 first. So not of X or Y is equivalent to not of X and not of Y. This is the second. Okay. So these two laws, or we can say these two formulas, these two equivalences are called De Morgan's laws. Okay, so let me summarize the. So the De Morgan's laws are that applying not on this operator gives us this particular operator. So here it is gives us not of X and not of Y. And applying not on X and Y, it will give us not of X or not of Y. Also, another thing is not of X will be same as X. So applying not twice will give the variable again. Okay, so these two are the De Morgan's laws. Fine. So we completed the discussion about the propositional connectives and the equivalence of the propositions, or we can say the equivalence of propositional formulas. So as I said, whenever you have to prove that two formulas are equivalent, that means they are same, you have to simply prove that P, if and only if Q, if this particular statement is true, then P and Q are same. Okay, they are same. Now, other thing that I want you to prove is that you have to prove that P implies Q is equivalent to not of Q implies not of P. So you have to prove this part. And another part that you have to prove is that P implies Q is equivalent to P or not Q. Sorry, it is not P or not Q. Not P or not Q. So these two equivalences you have to prove that they are valid. Okay, these two. This is the first one. This is the second one. Now, before wrapping up this discussion, we have to do a brief discussion about the operator precedence. Okay, so let me rub this particular board here. Okay. So the last part that we have to understand is the operator precedence in propositional logic. What does that mean? For example, if I have a propositional logic formula like this, x and y or z not implies x, there is another one. For example, this is a propositional logic. You can see that there are multiple operators, 1, 2, 3, and there can be many more. For example, logical negation can be there, exclusive or can be there. Then what is the precedence of these operators? So which operator should be applied first? Okay, so we have to understand which operator is to be applied first. That comes under the operator precedence. In the operator precedence, we have to see that if we have multiple operators, these propositional connectives in a single propositional formula, then which operator is to be applied first? So in these, the highest precedence is of not. Okay, this has the highest precedence. After not, the precedence is of and, then we have or, then we have this if and only if, or we can say the implies, then we have biconditional. So this one highest to, we can say this is highest to lowest. Okay, so the highest precedence is of not, then we have and, then we have or, then we have this implies, then we have biconditional. However, you have to also understand that the brackets have the highest precedence. For example, if I have a bracket here, okay, then this particular thing will be evaluated first, this particular thing. So bracket has the highest precedence, but in terms of these connectives, not has the highest precedence, then and, then or, then implies, and then this double implies. Okay, or we can say the biconditional operator. And also the associativity of these operators is they are right associative. Okay, they are. So if I have same operator, for example, and here or also and here, then which and is to be evaluated first? Then I have to see from the right one, from the right side, which one comes the first, that and is to be evaluated first. So this is the precedence of the propositional connective operators, or we can say this is the operator precedence. Fine. So before wrapping up this particular lecture, this particular video, I have to give you another question. So I have already given you two questions that you have to prove the equivalence between the two questions. The other question that you have to prove that if x plus y is equal to 16, then x is greater than or equal to 8, or y is greater than or equal to 8. So this is the statement. And you have to prove that this particular statement is true. Okay, so this is your another homework that you have to perform by understanding this particular video. So with this, I will stop here and we will stop the discussion about the propositional logic. And in our next lecture, related to the same mathematical logic, we will start the discussion about the first order logic. What is first order logic and how it is used in mathematical reasoning. So this will be our discussion of the next video. So let's meet in the next video. Till then, goodbye.